couple of shows, I covered what makes a song stand out, from the songwriting like Dolly Parton's Coat of Many Colors to the musical elements of Brian Wilson's God Only Knows. And there's something else too. There's something that the great musicians, or perhaps their team does, or they do, that gives a song a higher chance of being loved more universally than the average song. Let's say you hear a song and enjoy it, then you get bored with it after a few listens. Another song you also enjoy, but this one stays with you. Why? Why is that? Well, a number of factors possibly, but a big one is that the song was probably created with small touches that break any monotony in it, while at the same time remaining consistent with the song's purpose, personality, and mood. These touches might be anything from the songwriting itself to the vocal or harmonies, the instruments, maybe a break, maybe the way it was recorded. It could be just about anything. Something that a song does that's special and unique and just kind of sticks with you. Looking at unique touches, a master of this is Jerry Douglas of the Earls of Leicester and Union Station fame. If you listen to one of his dobro breaks, he very, very rarely ever repeats a phrase. And his background, when he's in the background, his dobro never, and that's capitalized never, interferes with what the vocalist is doing. He always stays away from the vocalist, but adds to the vocalist. But you hear a lot going on underneath with the vocal. Texture. Maybe a better word is texture. Anyway, these touches by Douglas, the chord complexity I covered in an earlier show about Brian Wilson, elements like these appeal to the right brain and can make a song memorable. I'd add that these touches might sound simple, but boy, oh boy, it's a skill I believe to be very, very advanced. There used to be, in my younger days, which is a long time ago, used to be a group of Clint Eastwood movies called the Spaghetti Westerns, and the music director in those was an Italian, Ennio Morricone. He did the Spaghetti Western music. Listen to some of those, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, especially that second movement when there's a soprano that comes in there. His theme is very consistent musically. Like, it's almost boring if you just took the music. But, and it's a big but, the instruments are constantly changing. They're going up, they're coming back. There's a little different approach by each instrument. There's maybe a wiggle to a note. There's a different texture to a note, or a background instrument or a section jumps in just at the right moment. That's what makes those spaghetti western musicals so incredible, I think. I do. Anyway, I'm very fortunate because the bands and the people that I enjoy listening to, Rhonda Vincent, Del McCoury, Vince Gill, the ones that I've mentioned in previous shows, these musicians are absolute masters at those little touches, little variations, something that they put into the songs which don't stray too much from the theme, the main point of the song, but they just add a little bit to it, really make it stand out. And being bluegrass, sometimes they do it at 100 miles an hour.
Okay, it's the time in today's show where we'll get Paul to play one of his songs. Enjoy the song, and after that, stay right here for today's episode of The Musical Life of Freddie Spaghetti.
Today's featured song is called I Was There. I wrote the song to celebrate the incredible journey throughout history of human achievement. As a songwriter, this is one song that I'm really proud of since it goes beyond the normal subjects of the human condition and views things from a much larger perspective.
Was there with Leonardo when he sketched Vitruvian Man, with siblings down at Kitty Hawk when wheels left the sand, with bleary-eyed inventors working through the night, searching for a missing link beneath the basement light. Few would recognize me, for I move along through time. I only come to those that dare put it on the line. Weary from the struggle, down on bended knee, ignoring their frustrations, thinking what could be. I am hope and passion, I am a young man's dream. I'll be there for every journey, every breathless leap. I am hope and passion, I am a young man's dream. I'll be there for every journey, every breathless leap. If you stare in wonder at words from Whitman's pen, or marvel at the climber making his ascent, the honesty's unmistakable when dreamers meet their truth. Man once hid inside a cave, now he walks the moon. Should you choose to take to flight or tug a monster's tail, one thing sure, a timid hand might never set to sail. But if you reach up high to a place meant just for you, I'll be like a raging fire to help it all come true. I am hope and passion, I am a young man's dream. I'll be there for every journey, every breathless leap. I am hope and passion, I am a young man's dream. I'll be there for every journey, every breathless leap.
It's time now to take a look at what is going on in the musical life of Freddie Spaghetti.
Freddie lives in Cherry Creek, New York. It's a town in Cattaraugus County of about 1,000 population, and it's located about an hour plus drive south of Buffalo. The settlement got its name from a creek running through the area and fields of cherry trees, one of which was planted by a land surveyor named Joshua Bentley way back in 1815. He planted the tree to mark the center of the new settlement. The main street, creatively named Main Street, is similar to those you'd see in many, many small towns. Main Street's a part of New York 83, a highway running right through the town center. And located there are the usual suspects: a gas station, a few one-story buildings at its center, an old train depot, and some retail stores. The Crooked Fret is a music store within that retail cluster, and a few hundred yards south, a new, large, red building with a facing that reads Medical Building. And a little further south again is Freddie's workplace, Sonny's Distribution House. And then about 5 miles even further down 83 sits the Magpie Music Hall. It's a local landmark and the place where some big names in music have performed on occasion. As far as Freddie is concerned, Cherry Creek has everything a young man would ever need. Stores were all close by, so Freddie doesn't even own a car. He's got a driver's license but prefers to use a bicycle. He bought it secondhand in high school. If he needs to go out of town, he rents a car. His apartment building lies on a street parallel to Main Street and not too far away.
Thanks for listening today. Remember to come right back here next week for another edition of Sound Threads.